There are a lot of Thomas characters in this franchise. More than I could even name, count, or even remember sometimes. And of course, with any franchise, there are going to be bad characters. But then we can't overlook the mid ones as well. I will make videos on those two topics, but today, let's talk about a more positive one. The best characters. Thomas and Friends has had so many good characters. In fact, sometimes it's hard to make a top 10 list. So I'm going to decide the top 5. Now, quick disclaimer. These are all just my opinion. There are going to be some unexpected picks on this list. But I still think this will be a video that everyone will enjoy. This was originally going to be a top 10, but InShot refused to upload it. And the video wasn't even that good anyway. I kept stuttering the whole way through. The music was terrible. I was quite ill at the time. I probably shouldn't have made that now. But I think now that I have a script, I think I can make a better video. This is what scripts actually do. They make a huge difference. Now, I know everyone's top 10 list will be different to mine, so comment down below who your favourite characters are. And now, without any more dilly-dallying, let's get on with the top 5 best Thomas the Tank Engine characters. Starting at number 5 with a character that you're not going to expect. Here it goes. At number 5 we have our favourite faithful tram engine, Toby. Now, this is going to be a bit of a hot take, but I always prefer Toby over Edward. Controversial, I know, but Toby's an old character written right. Right, that's going to get the comments angry. No, but the truth is, Toby would just stand on the side and watch the character fail, and then laugh at them and show them how it's done. That's just a great character right there. I appreciate Toby just doesn't care. He's happy with his little corner in the world. That's just an admirable quality in my opinion, and what I should strive to be in life. Toby's had some great episodes as well, like Toby the Stout Gentleman, Toby in the Flood. There are so many others I could list. It's a shame that CGI wasn't as good, so I love the original Toby. At number 4 we have Duck, the Great Western Engine. I secretly prefer Duck over Oliver. I think he has way more character. Duck has had some amazing episodes over the years, like A Close Shave, which is kind of his redemption story after the Duck and Diesel trilogy. That's one thing I like to mention. He started the whole dieselisation plot. By him and Diesel not getting on, this whole thing started. Not Thomas, not Edward, not even Henry. It was Duck. And I find that really cool. I like Duck's no-nonsense attitude. It's quite different from other characters. We don't see a lot more like these. Duck had the best episode out of Season 3, hands down. Well, let's see, realising that staying on the rails is his value in life. That's a very deep and complex moral. As well, Duck's very consistent. Like, in CGI, whilst a lot of returnees got very much flanderised, like Donald and Douglas becoming Bill and Ben essentially, Duck stayed consistent. My only critique with Duck is they've never used him to his full potential. And that is such a shame, because I think Duck personally has a lot more potential of a main character than the likes of, say, Emily. I don't hate Emily, but I always prefer Duck. Duck, you are the true Great Western Engine. Next we have the rock and roll king, Duncan. Now, Duncan is my favourite navigation engine, no question. I like his Scottish accent, it's hilarious in every way. My favourite Scottish accent by someone is probably Michael Angelis's. I mean, wow, it just makes me laugh. Duncan is the funniest character in the series, no question. He's a very nostalgic character for me as well. I always remember watching his episodes growing up, and that's quite a lot. Duncan's just hilarious. He's horrible like Sir Handel, but he's not even that intelligent. Sir Handel's more ignorant, like Gordon, for example. Duncan's just an idiot, and he always gets in trouble. Duncan probably being Duncan's best episode, along with Rock and Roll. He gets himself stuck in a muddy marsh. I mean, come on. Duncan's just horrible to everyone. He does not care. Well, at least in the earlier seasons. I appreciate he grows and develops over the show, and that's a property of the show. I think the model series definitely did the best with him. Aside from that, I love his colour yellow. I think it's better than the Railway series red. I love his theme. Duncan's just hilarious, and he has made it this high on the list. Well done, Duncan. At number 2, we have Henry. Finally, a completely original character. Henry the Green Engine is one of the best characters. He was the closest to hitting number 1. And do you want to know why? Well, I think his character journey is amazing. Like, one of the best of the show. And also, for the record, I like Mean Henry more than Nice Henry. I don't know, I think Henry's more interesting as a mean engine. But anyway, the reason why I love Henry is his amazing character journey. He started off as this pathetic engine that didn't really work properly. He got stuck in a tunnel because he didn't want to come out. Not because he was scared, unlike Adventure Begins. He just didn't want to get wet, and it was quite selfish of him. And then Cole, he hits a low point, but we feel more sympathetic for him this time. And the Fat Controller tries out Special Cole. And then, after a horrific crash in the Flying Clipper, he gets rebuilt and reborn, essentially. Now that's just amazing. But Henry's story doesn't stop there. He partakes in restoring the forest after a storm. I love Henry's forest. It is the second best Henry episode, just behind Flying Clipper. It shows a softer side to Henry. Henry is unfortunately one of those characters that got absolutely trashed in CGI. Well, it was more so a thing starting in the Hit era, but even then, he still had some great episodes. His dynamic with Gordon, and I do say this across the whole franchise, is amazing. I like their brotherly bonds. The two biggest engines have to stick together, right? It's kind of a principle. Henry is such a massive fan favourite character, and unlike characters like Safer James, who I think is very overrated, or Percy, Henry I can see why. I think Henry deserves all the fans he gets. He is a true greatest character in my opinion, and is the second best. I'm shocked he made it high on this list. I guess ever since my number 1 became my favourite, he always became my number 2. Henry's always been a really cool character to me. I love his design, and I like his shade of green. The Black Fives are one of the best locomotives of all time. Yeah, there's a lot to love about Henry, and that's why he got the number 2 spot on my list. My number 1 is Gordon the Big Engine. You all saw this coming. I mentioned this in the Q&A video, and he's appeared in a lot of videos. Gordon is my favourite character. It's because of his amazing character journey. In the books and in the show, he started off as this newest engine in modern steam. Yep, that's right, the newest engine. However, he was very pompous and very rude. Wasn't very nice to anyone, like Edward for example, calling him an old clapped out steam pot. However, in the episode Off the Rails, which is my absolute favourite episode, which is a bit biased, Gordon finally develops, and we see him show shame for once. We hadn't seen that before. We see Gordon have embarrassment, but not full on shame. And that's why Off the Rails is the best episode, by the way. This is Gordon at his lowest. Well, at least in terms of his behaviour. However, one thing I find really cool that only the model series did is Gordon got stuck on the hill in the first season and Edward had to help him, the one that he was calling old and clapped out. However, in season 7, the final season of the classic series, Gordon's doing the same to Spencer, who is also another great character. That just shows Gordon has some amazing character dynamics. I appreciate Gordon's not a complete arsehole as well. He becomes more wise as the series goes on. And I love that. It makes Gordon all the more likeable. Especially in the later series, there's always a way you can feel sympathetic for him. And I think the writers find Gordon easy to write for. And like my good friend Big Engine Productions said, the writers clearly had a slight preference to Gordon. And you know what? I can see it. Well, except for Andrew Brenner. Man, I hate his writing. Sorry for all the Andrew Brenner fans. But anyway, I love Gordon for so many reasons. He's very consistent as well. The only time where he was actually bad was late Robert era. I think Gordon overall has had a pretty clean track record. He has an amazing theme, some of the best piece of music I've ever heard, no question. The A1/A3 design is amazing, one of the greatest locomotives of all time. Do you not? The greatest locomotive of all time. Gordon's always been a very comforting character for me to watch. Like whenever I was having a bad day, he always made me feel better. And that's why Gordon is my favourite. I will do an analysis on him one day. Thank you so much for watching. This was a pain in the arse to make, but I'm finally done. Don't be Duncan, and have a great day.